country we live in. I pray now that continue to be with our soldiers in harm's way, Father. I thank you now for the city and everything that we do here for our administration. I'm actually continue to give us wisdom, Lord, that we consider all the people in the community and we work with them. And Lord, we want to thank you for our prayer that we did now at this time, Lord, we have to comfort that family that they have lost a loved one and strengthen us now as we move forward. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Call on Councilman Hunt to lead us in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll pray for you now. Item 3 is recognition and presentation. Chief Lynn.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tempore, will you join me, please? Tom, here. I won't try to make you talk. But stand by. Mr. Jackson, you want us oriented this way or this way? So, earlier today, we had luncheon with Detective Tom Davis, who's retiring after a long period of public service, and with the most recent chapter being at Perry PD. Outstanding employee, great person, great detective. It's going to take like 2 people. They already asked 2 people to replace you. So, great outpouring from the law enforcement community. We had about 100 people come to lunch today. And they said it was for Tom, not for the food. But the food was good. And he got a number of official retirement things. He got some unofficial ones too, but we're not going to talk about that tonight. But I asked Karen to stand up here with him because they've been partners for a long time. And will continue to be partners. He'll still be one of ours too, but we won't be seeing him every day. And so, first thing is from the city. Mr. Jackson, if you'll present that.
This is a certificate of appreciation for service to the city of Perry, Georgia. Thomas A. Daly. I extend to you my personal thanks and sincere appreciation of our city for your honorable service. You helped to maintain the safety of Perry, Georgia, with a devotion to duty that is in keeping with the proud tradition of our police department. I honor the service and respect the commitment and loyalty you displayed over the years. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. James Fairclough, Mayor.
Hey, something fine, Captain Button. All right, thank you.
I work well with others.
So one of the pieces of the official retirement package is a plaque from the Perry Police Department, which bears our shoulder patch. It says Thomas A. Daly, April 29, 2008 to April 4, 2017. Thank you for your years of excellent, dedicated service and commitment to the citizens of the city of Perry. And this is given in honor of his retirement. This is an important one. This is a certificate of retirement from the City of Perry Police Department. To all who shall see these present, greetings. Detective Thomas A. Daly, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the Perry Police Department on the 4th day of April, 2017, and it bears my signature as the Chief of Police. He's going to hang that on his cell phone. I see. Make sure this is probably more important to Tom, but these are his actual credentials. It's a retired ID card and a retired badge. And in the state of Georgia, that carries with it a lot of importance. So keep that with you always. All right, that'll work. The tradition of the Perry Police Department is to give a shadow box that contains several items. One of those items is a U.S. flag. And this is a certificate of authenticity to certify that this flag that's in the shadow box was flown over the Perry Police Department, Perry, Georgia on March 30, 2017 in recognition of the years of honored service by Detective Thomas Daly. So this is the shadow box that we present, that Captain Buck oversees having made for us. It has Detective Daly's service weapon that he carried at the, well, yesterday, I guess. Not today. It's got his lapel brass and his badge that he wore while he was on active duty, his rank insignia. It's got both sides of our challenge coin and the flag that was flown in his honor, and his name and his dates of service. So this is something that he can take with him and treasure always. Earlier today, when we did this, we also recognized Mrs. Daly, and I promised her I wouldn't really make her speak again. But we understand at Perry PD that our officers do a much better job when they've got a good support system. And we know that Tom has a good support system. And we know that we've been by him for many years. And hopefully he's going to let you roll himself. And Tom, I know you've got some family here today, if you want to introduce them to everybody.
That's my son, Tyler, my daughter, Carla, the twins, and my son-in-law, Ryan Kennedy.
Thank you all for coming. Y'all said lots of nice things about Tom, and they were all true. They really were. And we hate to have him leave us. Mr. Jackson, do you got anything you'd like to say at this time?
Just one thing hadn't been mentioned tonight. Today's Tom's birthday.
Yes. And I was actually going to say that, you know, he chose his birthday to be his retirement day. And,
It's easy to remember.
yes, he's. I just thought he did. It's easy to remember, and in keeping with how we do these things, of course, Tom, you get the last word, whatever you want to say.
Well, I just want to thank all the people that I've worked with in the city of Perry. They've all been very supportive of me. I love everybody, the citizens, love them to death. Enjoyed my time here. I love my wife and my family, and I'm glad that they were here to support me. And we'll be thinking about everybody in the city. On the sale. We enjoy it. We really got some good friendships. Can't go wrong with that. And the city's in good shape. We've got some good hires, good people.
Well, I'll just look at those sentiments of the rest of everybody else. We pride ourselves in having the best of advice, and we have been one of our bright and shining stars, and I appreciate everything that you've done for our system.
I'll add that as someone who works with teenagers on a regular basis, it was a real privilege to watch Detective Daly work with teenagers at the SRO at Perry High School. It was very evident from being in that lunchroom and work with them that he commanded their respect, he commanded their trust, and I know that's just a small snapshot of the respect and trust you command not only from the police force, but from the entire city of Perry, and for what it's worth, I personally and we appreciate your work.
Tom, thank you. We appreciate you. You did a great job.
Thank you very much.
Tom, I appreciate you. I thank you. I can sleep well at night knowing that you were roaming the city, protecting us. And I appreciate everything you're doing. And I enjoy your time off and enjoy it with your family.
A lot of that's been said. I'm just very grateful and appreciative of the example that you provide for the younger officers. I think even more so that you're totally well, healthy, no problems, and can be able to enjoy your retirement the best way that you possibly can, which I think is a goal of just about everybody. Congratulations.
It's easy to do when you got a young wife. That's why you're still married.
I'm going to deviate from the agenda just a minute. Something that's not here, that's usually on our agenda, is community partners. Do we have any community partners who would like to speak? Ms. McLennan.
Good evening. Thank you so much. If I may ask you to step back down, Mayor Pro Tem, I have a presentation. As you know, it's customary for the Dogwood Festival to have a yearly print, and we use one of our local artists, and we're always excited about that. And this year, we would like to present another framed copy of our print for the 2017 Dogwood Festival in hopes that City Hall would be proudly displaying it and supporting and promoting the festival.
Thank you. This will be in a good place.
Well, we appreciate that. And congratulations on another great year that we have coming up for the festival.
And thank you and all of your staff and volunteers for this big promotion going on.
Well, we appreciate y'all's support.
We hope it's a great success.
Me too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Item 5 is citizens with input. Are there any citizens who would like to speak to council at this time? Thank you. Item 6 is a public hearing. Purposes of this public hearing is to provide any interested parties with an opportunity to express their views and concerns in accordance with OCGA section 3667A 3C. Item 6A is amendment to the Perry Land Development Ordinance section 92.11.12C, 131.5, and 148.2.5 as it's related to standards for cul-de-sacs and dead-end street turnarounds. Mr. Wood.
Mayor Tim Poor and council. This is a request by the city of Perry. Several months ago, we discovered that there were 3 sections of the Perry Land Development Ordinance that reflected 3 different requirements for cul-de-sacs and dead-end streets. In addition, the International Fire Code, which the city has adopted, has an additional requirement. The text amendment proposed here would take the standards in the International Fire Code and make those the standards in the Perry Land Development Ordinance by referencing the International Fire Code. Those standards are for streets over 500 feet in length. The requirement would be a 96-foot bulb on a cul-de-sac or a 120-foot hammerhead, Y hammerhead. Those are in your packet, in your board pack, if you want to see those illustrations. The Planning Commission held an informational meeting on March the 13th. There were no public comments presented at that informational meeting, and the commission recommended approval of this amendment. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Council members have any questions? This time, anyone who'd like to speak for this amendment, state your name. Yes, sir.
My name is Chad Bryant. I'm with Oklahoma Engineering. I've, been talking, with several with staff members and stuff about some concerns about some of, the cul-de-sac widening. There's actually several places within the ordinance that we've been tossing around pertaining to, street grades. When you talk the cul-de-sac, you also got to look at the fire approach roads as far as your widths, your grades, et cetera. So we have several conflicting areas within the ordinance, not only the cul-de-sac width, but also the street width, the street grades, et cetera. So in saying all this, one of my concerns is the ordinance as it pertains to fire apparatus roads is, in my opinion, when you're looking at from a traffic safety standpoint, the bigger cul-de-sacs, the wider streets, et cetera, they promote faster traffic travel. So you're going to increase the speed as you increase your widths. Anytime you increase more pavement, you lose directional traffic. So speaking from a traffic safety standpoint, from a pedestrian standpoint, when you go in here and make bigger cul-de-sac areas, you're going to increase your pedestrian and your traffic potentials for accidents. But it also, anytime you're talking about a higher development cost, you're talking about a higher maintenance cost when we get into, later on after it's turned over to the city. So really, I have some concerns from a traffic safety standpoint, but also if you're going to be looking at this thing from a cul-de-sac diameter strictly, you need to be looking at, all the street standards and not just, so they all match and not just the cul-de-sac itself. I would like to see it cleaned up one way or the other. But I don't have a specific interest in any kind of, development. I don't have specific, I'm just coming straight to you from an engineering standpoint and how, this could create some potential safety problems. Now, we work across the entire southeast. I've done subdivision designs for 16 years now. I have not, that I can recall, a single subdivision that we designed in 16 years had a cul-de-sac that was this big. So I'm not saying that they don't exist in other communities. I'm not saying, but we haven't seen it. And I don't know how other communities have got around this. I've asked this question. I sent an email to the city of Perry, expressing some of these concerns. But the only thing I can figure is there's a clear zone in a right-of-way of 50-foot diameter, which gives you 100 feet. You have several options within your fire code that allow for Ys, as you talked about, Ys, Ts, hammerhead Ts. There's all kinds of different options available. Driveways are an extension of your cul-de-sac, something being able to pull in and back out. I just think we need to take a quick, a longer look at this and see other alternatives before we pass something that potentially could have some safety concerns for it later on down the road. Thank you.
Anybody else would like to speak for? Anyone else would like to speak opposed? Thank you. This public hearing is closed. Item 7, review of the minutes. Council, your consideration is asked on minutes from March 6, 2017 board meeting of Council and Perry Planning Commission, March 20th, 2017 work session, March 21st, 2017 pre-council meeting, March 21st, 2017 council meeting.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'd like to add that I was not present at the joint work session council because I was at literary with several of my Westfield students.
I hear a motion that we approve approve these?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Abstention? Let the record show that Mr. Jones abstained, motion passes. Old business, ordinances for second reading and adoption. Second reading of an ordinance for rezoning property from OC Office Commercial to M2 Industrial. The property is located in, that's incorrect, I think it's 704 and 708
That's correct.
Ball Street. Mr. Wood.
This is a request, as you know, to rezone to M2, which is an industrial district. It's similar, that same zoning classification exists across Ball Street and on one parcel across Duncan Avenue. As we discussed at the last meeting and the public hearing, the council does have the option to change the zoning classification and limit uses as long as those limitations are clearly stated in the minutes and they are expressly set forth that adjacent properties. In talking to the prospective purchaser for the property, we would suggest, and just going back as well, the staff had recommended denial of the M2 because of concerns of the intensity of uses that are allowed in M2 and the adjacency of this property to a historic residential district. The Planning Commission did recommend approval, and so just wanted to bring forth for your consideration that potentially looking at rezoning this property to C2 with the following conditions: that display and sale of open and enclosed trailers, UTVs and ATVs, truck beds and metal buildings only would be allowed, but would exclude all other outdoor display, sales, and any servicing or repair, including but not limited to automobile, truck, manufactured home, boat, recreational vehicle, horse trailer, and farm equipment, and that display of buildings on the site must adhere to required building setbacks. Secondly, retail uses contained wholly within a building would be allowed, but would exclude adult entertainment, tattoo parlors, massage parlors, unless they are part of a salon or spa. We would also exclude tire sales, self-service storage, and convenience stores and gasoline sales. Restaurant uses would be permitted, but excluding nightclubs, bars, taverns, and drive-ins. Office uses would be permitted, as well as religious institutions, civic clubs, fraternal orders and lodges, educational facilities, including preschool and daycare, and residential homes, excluding manufactured homes. And it's my understanding that the prospective purchaser is agreeable to those conditions. So we would recommend, this is second reading, we would recommend that C2 of those conditions would be appropriate and properly protect the adjacent properties. One other thing I should mention is that the Planning Commission did recommend approval subject to two conditions, one being that, two additional conditions, I should say, one being that a 6-foot tall wood fence be installed on the rear and side property lines adjacent to currently zoned residential properties. And they had recommended that a black coated vinyl fence be used on the front. The applicant has actually proposed to use an aluminum fence with a wrought iron type design. So this is what we would recommend also be part of the conditions for this property.
Council, you've heard Mr. Wood's recommendation. You have a motion.
I move that we rezone to C2 with the conditions as outlined by Mr. Wood.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Madam Item 8A2 is the second reading of an ordinance amending the Perry Land Development Ordinance, Section 106, signs. Mr. Moore.
Yes, sir. This is a correction or an oversight when the form-based code was adopted and applied to the Courtney Hodges Boulevard area. There were not any references to sign standards, and this provision would set which of the sub-districts in the form-based code related to which current standards, sign standards currently in the ordinance. The planning commission held a public hearing on this, I believe, on the 13th of March. Or excuse me, not a public hearing, but an informational hearing. I don't believe there was anyone there to offer comments. They did recommend approval of this request.
Council, you've heard the recommendation. Do we have a motion? We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Item 9 is any other old business? Any other old business for Mayor Pro Tem? I have none. Council members? No. Mr. King? City manager? Mr. Gilmore?
No, sir.
The city attorney, Mr. Holder?
No, sir.
Item 10 is new business. Matters referred from the April 3rd, 2017 work session and the April 4th, 2017 pre-council meeting. Mr. Gilmore?
Thank you. Council and Jackson, we have listed here in your packet that came up at the work session yesterday from Mr. Shell about the need to replace part of the HVAC system at the public safety building. And we are recommending to go with the low bid from Sullivan Heating and Cooling of $5,100.
Council, you've heard Mr. Gilmore's recommendation. We have a motion.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion, second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? That motion carried unanimously. Item 10B, ordinances for first reading and introduction. 10B1, first reading of ordinance amending the Perry Land Development Ordinance, Section 92.11.12C, 131.5, and 148.2.5 as it relates to the standards of cul-de-sac, dead end streets, turnarounds.
As we mentioned a while ago, this is a request to make cul-de-sac standards standard throughout the code and recommend approval of the request.
This is a first reading, no vote at this time. 10B2, first reading of an ordinance to amend the Perry Code by deleting section 15-53 in its entirety, and adding a new section 1553, collection of tax by lodging provider. Ms. King.
President Jackson and Council. The ordinance that you have before you in your board package is to correct some conflicting rates that was adopted when it was changed back in 2015, I believe. The rate, one section of the ordinance reflects the 8% rate, but we are collecting at the 7%. So this is to clean up the ordinance and to delete that conflicting information, changing from that section of 8% to 7%.
Council, any questions? Ms. King? Section 10C, the resolution authorizing the Perry Fire and Emergency Services Department to join the Georgia Mutual Aid Group. Chief Parker.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem Jackson and Council, I recommend that the council approve the Perry Fire Department to join the Georgia Mutual Aid Group. Joining this group will make it easier to receive mutual aid when needed following disasters and offer training exercises for the Perry Fire Department. There is no cost to join the Georgia Mutual Aid Group.
Council, any questions for Chief Parker? None. Heard his recommendation, do I have a motion? Second. Motion approved, second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. 10C2, selection of a voting delegate for the Georgia Municipal Gas Authority annual election. Mr. Gilmore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Council, when we go in each year, we have to designate voting members for the Municipal Gas Authority's annual election. Historically, that has been the mayor as the prime delegate in the back of Councilmember Walker. It would be our recommendation that you adopt.
Council, you've heard Mr. Gilmore's recommendation. Have a motion.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 10D is the award of bids. 10B1 is bid number 2017-18, two 15-foot flex wing mowers. Ms. King.
Yes, sir, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Jackson. The 2017-18 is for two flex wing mowers for the Public Works Street Department Division. We received 3 bids. Department recommendation is to award the bid to Barker Road Striker Company in an amount of $32,800 for the two.
Council, you've heard the recommendation. You have a motion.
So moved.
Is that a motion? You have a second? Have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 10D2 is bid number 2017-19, one 60-inch front deck.
Yes, sir. Again, this is for the Public Works Street Department Division. One bid was received for that 60-inch front deck mower from Walker Road Tractor Company in the amount of $15,071.
Council, you've heard the recommendation. We have a motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? Motion unanimous. In D3 is engineering evaluation of sewer main and manholes and balls, Jernigan and Washington.
Pro Tem Council, line maintenance staff has identified concerns on Washington Ball and Jernigan Street for the sanitary sewer lines. We have received a low bid from Georgia Water Environmental Service, $28,295. We would like to recommend approval of an evaluation of this sanitary sewer.
Council, you've heard the recommendation. We have a motion. Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion is approved unanimously. In D4, wrap for command post vehicles. Chief Lynn.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. This is the final piece for bringing this vehicle that we're converting to a city asset as a mobile command post. We've done the inside, it's mechanically sound. We've worked in partnership with the fire department. The outside needs a little sprucing up, so a wrap is the best way, most cost-effective way to do that. We've got 3 bids. The low bidder was Eyeballs Marketing of Warner Robins for $6,772, and we recommend that bid be approved by council.
Council, you've heard the recommendation. We have a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you.
10E is approval of local LMIG contract.
Pro Tem Council, this year's LMIG project 2017 was done in conjunction with Houston County's joint bidding process. The City of Perry bid portion is $100,696.75. Low bidder was Georgia Asphalt. We recommend approval of this project.
Council, you've heard the recommendation. We have a motion.
Second.
A motion second, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. 11 is supplemental agenda, declaration for keeping Creekwood Park pool open for the 2017 summer. Councilwoman Grace.
Well, since we won't be able to start, construction of the splash pad until late August or early fall, we need something for our kids to do this summer other than sports, because there were a lot of kids that used the park in previous years. So I'm asking, I'm saying we need to again this summer.
Council, you've heard the recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
I move. Got a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, raise your hand.
Oh, beg your pardon.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 12, council member items. Ms. Donna Grace.
So that was my own.
Mr. Jones.
I have one item, Mayor Pro Tem. I would just like to encourage everyone, the weather tomorrow, please watch the weather report and remember that no matter what happens tomorrow, God is sovereign, and we are fortunate, trusted Him, and fortunate to live in a community of neighbors. No matter what happens, takes care of and watches out for one another. That's all I have.
Ms. King, go. Yep. Next, department head items. Ms. King. Mr. Blue.
Yes, I do have two items, sir. I'd like to introduce our new code compliance specialist, Rosalind Jemison. And each of you have one of her cards in case you need to get in contact with her. But just wanted to say a little bit about her. She is a native Mississippian. She's now living in the area here. She graduated from Delta State University with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and forensics, and then obtained a master's degree in education curriculum, specializing in English as a second language. She has a background in nonprofit organizations with roles ranging from residential services to talent acquisition and human resources. She's also an Army veteran, where she was a GIS analyst, and we are pleased to have her on board, looking forward to using her excellent communication skills, her problem-solving ability, and her GIS background. So, welcome. Secondly, I'd like to just give you a little bit of update on building permits. For the first quarter of this year, we are at 77 new single-family home permits that have been issued. That is 10 over what was projected by the chief building official for this time period. And it's our best first quarter since 2007, where 86 were issued. So I think we're on track to continue with the single-family construction that we've seen. And that's also based on the fact that we're seeing a number of new subdivisions come in and permit requests for later phases of previously approved subdivisions. So I think the number of lots that are out there are getting short, and we're beginning to see those come in. Secondly, we've issued a number of commercial permits, including Starbucks on Perry Parkway, Tractor Supply, as you know, are two of the major new projects. We're looking at some build-outs in some of the suites at Publix Shopping Center, and some remodels at Walmart and Kroger. And we have a number of other applications in-house under review. So looks like we are continuing with the growth that we've seen in the past couple of years.
Thank you, sir. Mrs. Smith.
Yes, sir, Mayor Pro Tem. Mayor Pro Tem and Council, on behalf of the Perry Housing Team, I'd like to invite everyone out to our first ever Perry Housing Fair. The event will take place on April 27th. It's a Thursday from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. at Creekwood Park Pavilion. We'll have a variety of resources there. If you're interested in purchasing a home, improving your existing home, or just want to check out what housing resources might be available to you here in Perry and Houston County, please make plans to attend. We'll have refreshments, food, prizes, all that type of thing. Should be an excellent event. Following up on that, the following Saturday, April 29th, from 8:30 to 12:30, we will have our spring neighborhood cleanup. It'll be in Accalahatchee this year. We'll be mustering at 8:30 at Barbara Calhoun Park. And from there, we'll break out into teams and clean up the neighborhood, and then have a nice barbecue lunch afterwards for everyone that participates. These are always great events. It's good to get out in the communities. If you have any questions, please contact me. I'm the Perry Housing Team Leader, Robert Smith. You can reach me at 478-751-6160. Thank you.
Mr. Shell.
Nothing like
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tempore and Council. Just have two items to share with the public. We have spring basketball geared up this year for age groups 6 through 12. If you have any young ones that are not doing soccer or baseball, this is typically a smaller league we've offered for a few seasons now. The registration period will end on April the 7th. Next up, we will have in April our second kids fishing rodeo. This will be on Saturday, April 22nd. We will start at 8:30 a.m. Those wanting to participate, please bring your rod with your child. We will be providing bait, and we'll be having lunch at noon. There will also be an educational component with this day. The Department of Georgia Natural Resources partnered with us last year. They are going to have a reptile display for about an hour. So I'll be out there holding a snake. I'm not sure if anybody else wants to. You're more than welcome to join us. We'd love to have you. It's going to be a fun day, provided the weather cooperates with us. That's it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Chief Wynn. Yes, sir, just very briefly. As y'all know, we had a significant weather event yesterday. We're preparing for one tomorrow. I'm going to Chief Harper for a briefing on that. But we've got a plan in place and we're ready to go.
Chief Harper. Yes, sir. Mayor Pro Tem and Council, just a reminder of some notes that took place at the Houston County Emergency Management briefing today with the National Weather Service. Just a couple things there. They did say that there were 3 tornadoes confirmed in Houston County yesterday. At least 10 structures they know of that were damaged. Spoke to the 911 center, and during our 2-hour period where we responded to 30 calls yesterday, there were about 149 calls for help in the entire county yesterday. Just being aware of tomorrow, there is more storms coming tomorrow. Right now, they're considering central Georgia in a moderate risk, which means tornadoes are the main threat. Right now, we're supposedly under a 70 to 90% chance of tornadoes for tomorrow. They're looking at about 3 waves coming in. Wave 1 around 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Wave 2 somewhere between 2 and 7 p.m. And then wave 3 somewhere 7 to 11 p.m. And wave 2 being expected to be the worst of those. They're looking at a possibility of about 1.5 inches of rain, and of course high winds and all that comes along with that. So just be very careful. Recommending that you listen to your local weather stations, TV and radio. Always seek shelter in the lowest level of your home. Maybe an inner hallway, a smaller inner room, or a closet, and keep away from windows and glass doorways. If you're in a mobile home, you should seek alternate shelter, somewhere, maybe a neighbor's house or another place. And then if you're outside, seek low-lying ground and lie down and cover your head with your hands. Hopefully we'll get through this. As Councilman Jones said, we'll look to the good Lord to help us out. But if you do find yourself in need, please call 911 and we'll get to you as soon as we can. And I want to try to help you out the best we can. So just be ready for tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Item 14 is general public items. 15, mayor items. I have nothing, and the mayor's not here. There's nothing else, Mr. Gilmore, you know of anything else needs to come?
No, sir.
Nothing else, we can adjourn.